men and women contribute significantly to agricultural production. Yet, their access to these agricultural resources differ, as it is observed that in spite of the contribution of women to agriculture, they do not have as much access to and control over agricultural resources as men. Hello and welcome to another edition of Farmer's Diary. I'm your host, Iwe Sekunde. Compliments of the season. In agriculture, women feature prominently as they are believed to produce more than half of all the food that is grown, specifically up to 80% in Africa. Yet, they continue to face numerous challenges.
The experiences we've had relate to the inability of women to stand on their own, to acquire land, to do their farming activities. For instance, if you go as a woman to hire land from the community, you will not be recognized and you will not be able to be given access to the land, because the general cultural practice and belief is that a woman has to be under a man. So you have to be under, you have to come under the umbrella of, say, your husband or maybe your brother or father, so to speak. So it's very, very difficult for you to stand on your own independently and say you want to hire land. So in our own case, we came under cooperatives to be able to acquire land to do our agricultural work. In the course of acquiring the land, we faced a lot of challenges because in our own case, government has not been, Benue State government has not been able to really put down the structures, you know, like in preparing land, opening up lands for, even though I think they are working on it, but they haven't done that. So we had to go on our own individually, that's as the cooperatives, to acquire land, to go and meet the communities, negotiate with them, pay them for the land. But what we discovered was, as we also were trying to acquire the land, other groups too, who were also interested in doing what some of the things we also wanted to do, were also going to negotiate with them. So we discovered that the communities were not being as truthful, as honest as they should. So we found ourselves being in the middle of people who were not being honest. So they were collecting monies from different groups. So we discovered that at the end of the day, after preparing our land and trying to get into the actual business of planting, another group came and took over our land. So our whole investment now went down the drain. So that was our experience.
We all survive on food on a daily basis. And so, despite all of these difficulties faced by this marginalized group, the women smallholder farmers, they have continued to find ways to increasing food production, but not without some strategies to surmount the pressure.
Government should not leave the issue of land preparation, clearing of land to farmers, because in that case, if government takes over maybe the land from communities and prepares it, the communities will not be in a position to come and hire it to different groups at the same time. So the issues of maybe conflict of interest will no longer be there. Farmers will be able to actually plant those their crops and harvest, and at the end of the day, it will be to the benefit of everybody. Governments can impact on the agricultural sector by giving farmers inputs such as fertilizers, seeds, improved seeds, you know, and such like. So because by doing that, the overhead cost of growing those crops will not be so high. So the farmers too will be encouraged to reduce their prices, because at least their profits, their margins will go up. And I believe government can also help in the reduction of prices by buying back from farmers, you know, maybe at a rate that will give the farmers a good margin. For instance, the rains were not adequate for crops such as maize, because the rains ended abruptly before the maize crops were able to be fully mature. And other crops like sorghum were not fully developed because the rains were not enough. So I believe one way that government can tackle it is to encourage farmers to go into dry season farming, because with dry season farming you will be able to grow at least multiple cycles of crops in a year, which will ensure, you know, availability of food all year round. So I believe if government really walks the talk, you know, not just we want to diversify the economy, but put down, you know, serious investment in dry season farming. Yeah, I think it will go a long way, because I believe an agricultural revolution can turn around the fortunes of this country. Because with agriculture, millions of Nigerians can be employed, and if we start by feeding ourselves, we don't import the smallest of things. At least by the time Nigeria is able to feed itself, it can move on to feeding Africa and even the world. And the over-dependence on importation will be a thing of the past. So I want to encourage all Nigerians to take agriculture very seriously. Let's put our hands on deck and join the government in this new drive. And also I want to encourage our men to support the women, because personally I feel by the time you're supporting a woman, you're supporting the society as a whole, and you're building the future. Because when as a man you support your wife, you are confident that even when you're not there, your wife will be empowered to take care of your family, will be able to pay your children's school fees, will be able to take care of your children, to, you know, to be able to actualize their full potentials. Because of the practices that we have that deprive women access to land, or, you know, the ability to earn an income, you are not sure yourself what will happen when you're not there. So I think it's to the best interest of everybody that women are empowered by every means to be able to stand and be independent to earn a living, because it imparts on the whole society. Most times it's not as if maybe the men want to put you down, but probably it's because they don't even know what you want as a woman. So let's be encouraged to speak up. Let's be encouraged to continue to be who we are, to be strong, to take care of our families, to support our men, but at the same time also ask our men to support us too. As a member of the National Convergence, I would like to appeal to you to support the campaign with the hashtag #MyLandMyLife to improve food security in the world.
You're still watching Farmer's Diary on AIT Abuja. If you have just joined in, not to worry. You can watch the entire package again on our online platform on www.ztonline.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, ZT Our aim is to ensure we increase food production as well as ensure job creation through agriculture. And that's why we continue to bring information on issues that concern food safety, such as the aflatoxins contamination in grains like maize, groundnuts, and others.
It is now time for our national and international partners to reinforce the commitment by supporting Nigeria with additional resources and technical backstopping required. We are convinced that your generosity and availability will not be lacking. We are equally convinced that Nigeria will continue to advance its efforts on aflatoxin control. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that this conference will be a success and that it translates into reality the hopes that it has aroused. It must also mark the strength of the spirit of partnership which underpins the African Union's approach through its PACA program. It must also mark a new stage in the fight against aflatoxin in Nigeria and demonstrate with practical results that this fight is not insurmountable, provided that there is a real national will, political will, backed by a strong national and international commitment.
High-profile meetings have been going on to discuss the menace of aflatoxins.
The major actors are actually at the state and the local government. And unless we engage them, and for those of us and many other partners that are working in the field, know that when you don't deal with this matter at the level of that, we're just wasting our time. There must be a strategic framework on how do we actually engage, the states and the local government under this framework. And that could also link to the funding. The funding is not necessarily just at the federal level. The funding can actually cascade down to the states and local government. Once the advocacy goes in and deepens, they should also be making provisions in their budget to deal with some of these issues. And that can actually raise, the funding profile as far as Nigeria is concerned. So it's not just NAFDA, it's not standard organization. No, we know that, for instance, NAFDA, and let me not pick an organization. When you go to Niger State, where it is reported has recorded the highest, contamination rate for maize. Now, what are the institutions in Niger State that are actually dealing with this issue?
Right?
Yeah, absolutely, you find out that nothing has been done. Today, as I'm speaking with you, there is a market, 2 markets in Niger that turn out 1 million bags of grains. And you can be sure that the rate of contamination, and this goes across the whole country. And then goes beyond even, so really the matter needs to be, looked at in a certain front. Really, those are the areas that we need to actually deal with.
So far, since January to December, we bought at the local level almost 125 million metric ton of different commodities with a cost of around $90 million here in Nigeria. And this is only for the local market. However, it represents only 60% of what we, or less than 60% of what we are already distributed here. So far, we had a lot of challenges at all levels: the quality assurance system, quality control, food safety standards, laboratory testing, inspection. I can say a lot of things about that. And one of the issues is why I'm here now, because we are now trying to using one of the commodities, which is maize, to be used within our basket. So I was expecting that before using maize to see exactly what's the capacity at the country level, from all levels, from the partners, governmental authorities, rules, regulation. And I'm sorry to say that it seems very clear that we are away from even our system based in this strategy. What usually happens for the contaminated products in the Nigerian market? It's a big question for me. Because we are one of the organizations, we reject that. We reject the food that already comply with, non-comply with our specification. And usually we wonder, so what's happening for this food? just going back to the market.
The rice and beans and whatever that is in the open market, whatever that in the heaps of that we buy in Mudu, who is controlling it? And that is the nature. You and I eat it, and by the grace of God, nothing will happen to us. But the point is this. That is why we are here, and we want to ensure that aflatoxin issues, this implementation plan, this strategy we have, is also mainstreamed in our national agricultural investment plan. If it is not, we will still be jojoring like my sister said, and nothing would happen. We may pay emphasis on export, bring more money, and then what happens to us? So that is why we are also driving that everything we come out with, that the Ministry of Agric, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, also it mainstreams it into their own national programs.
However, food is produced, sold, and consumed mostly in the rural areas. So, how much of this information about aflatoxins contamination has reached these local areas?
You know, this maize, they use it for tuwo. It's cheaper. To them, it's cheaper than semo. So it's cheaper. You don't have the same price with semo. Like when you meet this one 5 mudu and buy 3 mudu of alibo, almost 1 bag of semo. So that is why people patronize it more than every other food, even more than rice. I have been selling over 3 good years now. They consume more maize than rice. Aflatoxin. I'm a big grammar. I have not heard of it before. I will not believe because even before I was born, we used to eat this maize and we have been eating it. So I will not believe. Because one, it's not preserved like the way all these foreign foods are preserved. This one is natural. Like the way you see this corn, they leave it like this because of the preservation. Because they believe if they remove this chaff, insect will enter it very easy. So when they keep it in storage like this, till next year, this is how it will remain. So it is not, it's not preserved like other foods. And so I don't believe that there is any disease on it. I don't think there is a contamination on it, on the maize particularly. I don't even want to believe because this maize, we have been on it. So there is no way somebody can tell me that this maize has a disease that I will believe. Because if you want to store this thing, there is a way of storing it in a local way. Like in the village, we build one kind of hut, a little building for it, and we'll be putting fire under. So it will stop the insect from entering it. So it's not preserved like the chemical way they used to preserve other food. So nobody will tell me that this thing has a disease that I will believe. Farmers should continue planting their maize, and for the consumer that know how to do that too, in short, if it will I have a pot, I will prepare it for you so that you will see. If I have to, consumers should continue consuming corn. There is no disease on it. I don't know how they will prove it to me that I will believe, because even my great-grandfather, he based on eating this maize. So if somebody wants to tell me now, maybe it is which disease that they now put on this maize. If not, it's natural. It's natural.
I eat maize very well. Because maize, I prefer maize to semo. When we grind it, we prevent it, we also sieve it, and we get it. We do our local semo. You do it like semo, and we get it. It's very nice and very clean, like semo, but it's more than that proteinous more than semo. I prefer maize to anything called semo. If there's something like that as a disease in maize, we have to get it, because over 100% of Nigeria are eating maize. It depends on this maize more than the semo. You understand? So the maize is what we depend on, and it's very cheap. And we can get affordable rate and prepare it in various. I'll be much worried because we depend. Most of us depend on. We eat it day by day. Even in Kunu, we use it doing Kunu pap for children, little children that is coming. We use it in preparing for them. So if I heard that it's contaminated by aflatoxins, I would be very, very worried. But as for me, I believe in God that such is not in all the maize. By God's grace, we still have the one that is not yet contaminated with aflatoxins.
Never had anything about aflatoxins. When I get a maize that have better. When I have a maize that have better, I have something that I used to filter it. Something like this. I use this one. Why you put it like this? After cleaning, you select it, boil it. And if it is beans, we also use beans and we make the chart to make it clean for our customers and we keep it. And when we prepare it, when you see it, and when you are passing, you see it lovely. And you admire it to buy. Even if you don't have the occasion to buy it, you like to buy it. I would like to keep ourselves very clean according to our business for the people to know that yes, that at least to keep something clean, you avoid disease from us. So like something like corn like this, even though you take it to the engine, they will mill some, they used to mill the bags before grinding it. So when you grind it, just no difference with semo. If you can even prepare very well, it's even sweeter than the semo. I eat maize, I love maize, it's my favorite. Very, very, very well. As you are talking, I feel like eating it. Things I be selling, I've never had it. That somebody can contain disease from corn. So calling aflatoxins, I have never had it.
Now that you have heard it, what would you do?
Well, I will keep on watching, and I would like the Nigeria to prove to me that yes, this is the reason, and this is how the corn will contact disease. I'm still waiting for Nigeria to prove to me, and I'm still waiting, and I'm waiting till the day that I will see before we believe.
Well, worrisome situation there, you would say. On one hand, we hear the disturbing news of the ravaging effect of aflatoxin contamination on our grains. On the other hand, most consumers and traders of these grains have little or no knowledge of its existence. Although, the Nigerian government, in collaboration with the Partnership for Aflatoxin Control in Africa, PACA, has launched an action plan for aflatoxin mitigation in Nigeria. But considering the large population of consumers of these grains, how effective would the awareness trickle down? Sure, there is a lot of work to do. First, it has to begin from educating the farmers about best agronomic practices. And so, we won't end today's edition without one of such lessons.
The first thing is that farmers should be aware of what aflatoxin is about. Then the second thing is two major things. The first one is on-farm management. Good agricultural practices. You select good seed, you plant on time, you respect farm sanitation, you harvest on time, you dry well, store well, and we think that if farmers do that, we are a little bit away from aflatoxin.
I hope this has provided a guide for you as we await next year's farm season. Climate change is real, and so seek professional advice from agricultural extension officers so that you will plant the right early maturing varieties at the right time, the right way. Do agric, it pays. I will see you again same time next week, that's in the new year. For sponsorship detail and advert placement, you can call 080-3454-0469 or send us WhatsApp messages to 0701 3453 224. Bye for now.